So I am a Laker fan. If you know me, I'm a huge Laker fan. Most recently, there's been some news about a past player that was on the team last year named Dennis Schroder. He a good solid player, young, 27, 28-year-old, tons of upside to him. He turned down a contract last year that has a lot of people just kind of shaking their heads. He was offered $84 million for 4 years. That's basically $21 million per year to re-sign with the Lakers. He turned it down. He ended up opting for roughly around a $4 or $5 million one-year deal with the Boston Celtics, and he's kind of spread all over the news as that was probably not a good decision. And what he was really looking for was a $100 million contract because that's what he felt that he was worth. Basically $80 million down the drain. But there are also other players in the NBA that have turned out ridiculous contracts and ended up with almost nothing. Victor Oladipo, another solid player. He was offered $112 million over 4 years, basically $28 million per year. I know, that's a lot of money. But he felt that he was worth more than that. And ultimately, he ended up signing a $2.3 million deal, which is still a lot of money, but it's nowhere near the $28 million that he could have had. So just like many of you out there and pretty much everybody else on the internet is like, I would have taken that in a heartbeat. Like, why wouldn't you take that? It was a situation where they all thought they were worth more on the open market than the offer that they were given. And ultimately, it worked out not being the right choice. You could blame the agent, you could blame the player, whatever the case is, bad decision. So what does that have to do with pretty much anything that I'm talking about and real estate? Well, I'm starting to notice the same thing happening in the real estate market now. So as we're starting to get into September, October, November, December, all of those holiday seasons that are coming right around the corner, well, let me just say, like, this right here you may think is ridiculous and you probably would never make that mistake, but I'm telling you, sellers are making that mistake now. A lot of them are making that now. The last 6 months in the real estate market has been crazy. It's been absolutely nuts. Sellers market, 100%, right? There's tons of buyers on these properties and it's getting out in the news that it's a seller's market and they're getting all these offers and it's going way over asking price. We're getting at a point here where it's going to start to slow down. I'm already starting to see it. Sellers are listing their price. Let's say if they're listing their home for $1 million. They get a bunch of people that are interested in it. They're countering these people with something like $1,050,000 or $1,001,000. And oftentimes you're like, well, if you're asking for $1 million, all of a sudden you get all these offers. Now you want more? Well, yeah, it's because over the last 6 months, all we've heard is that the crazy market is just out there. Problem is that now as we're starting to slow down a little bit, school has just started. All of these holiday seasons are starting to come around. And I'm noticing that sellers are wanting more than what their house is actually worth on the open market, and it's backfiring on that. So just be careful. If you're thinking about selling your home, it's still a great market. It's still a seller's market. Here in the city of Irvine, we've got low inventory throughout the board, right? There's not a lot of inventory. But if you get a good offer on the house, just think twice about countering them with something ridiculous just because of what's been going on in the last few months. You may end up in a situation where all of these buyers say, hey, I don't think the house is worth that much, and I definitely don't want to play this game, and they go the opposite direction and they stay patient. So just be mindful of that. I'm starting to see a lot of it, and yeah. So I just don't want you to end up like any of these players who rejected a crazy good offer and ended up with nothing. Well, not nothing. $2 million is still a lot of money, but you know what I'm saying. All right, that's it for me. NBA and real estate, it all ties in together, right? Go Lakers.